Hello. Today we got something really special. It's a Simplex Selematic 5. It's definitely the craziest looking, or one of the craziest derailleurs that Simplex ever made, and I would say even one of the craziest derailleurs that have ever been made, at least in the top 5. So the derailleur itself, how it functions from the looks of it. So you have a classic type of shifter, which I actually do have, and I think this was a made for five speed, and yeah. So the way it works is that this the cage of the derailleur moves in and out as if it was a kind of like an older derailleur, and I'm guessing inside there's some sort of mechanism, some kind of sprocket here that moves this bar back and forth. We're going to open up anyway and we're going to find out. So this does recline here, and what's really interesting is that they kind of used these old coil springs that you would have found on derailleurs up until maybe the 60s, but of course this derailleur I think was still being sold in the 80s. So it's a little bit bizarre to have gone back onto that type of design. And another thing that's a little bit nuts is just the sheer weight of this thing. It's I'll weigh actually just to say. And we are coming in at only 520 grams for a derailleur. Amazing. Underneath you'll just see made in France, so modèle déposé, licensed by Anvar. I don't know what Anvar means. I'll try and look that up before the end of the video. Maybe that has something to do with, I don't know what that has to do with Simplex. I've never seen on their derailleurs. Now, I have absolutely no idea where to begin. I'm not sure what screw does what. If this looks more like it's for adjustment of on this kind of arm. The only screw I can see that you definitely need to remove is probably that one. But we know we can open it because it looks like it has some kind of casing. So maybe I'll remove this arm and then we'll go from there. It's a shame they spent so much time making these bizarre derailleurs instead of making something decent. Okay. Let's go for this one now. Oh, opens already. That's quick. Let's see what's inside. Okay, so not at all what I thought it was going to be. So you look, oh look at this, this is nuts. So you have the cable that actuates this type of arm that swings, and I'm imagining that this then after lifts up and down. Okay, I think to take this off, it looks like I might have to remove this. So that was, I don't know, it's an 8. To the side. That comes off. Seems to be firmly pressed on, but it'll come off. There you go. Right, now that can come out. Take off this spring as well. Oop. And that little slider part has 2 teeth going inwards. You can't remove this, it's somewhat sealed. And now that comes off, we can remove this part. That's just a crazy thing. So here it's really interesting. You've got a pulley right there that rolls. It's actually very well made. that rolls for that type of slider plate. So now you can remove this plate, what do they call this again? Helicoil, something like that. So here's a spring, and amazingly there's still grease on this, and this is quite an old derailleur. In fairness, the whole thing was clean on the inside. I think what I'm going to do is unhook the spring from this part. If I can. Oh, yeah. There you go. Now how hard that's going to be to retension, who knows? We're going to need to remove this at the back. I've tried to remove that, and it's so tight. I tried both directions just in case, and I could not. So maybe I'm going to be able to loosen it up once I take off this side. Okay, so that definitely moves. That's not helping. Let's try one more time. Wow. So for now I can't remove it, not in this method anyway. I'm going to need to probably put a lot more force. So I'll give it a go, but I'm going to put some penetrative oil and see if we can get that to move. And in between then I will pull the parts here to clean, and hopefully we'll get that off. That's all cleaned. I did do some research on ANVAR, and it turns out that it stands for l'Agence Nationale de la Valorisation et de la Recherche, and the inventor of this derailleur was Pierre Bonnard, who's still patenting objects up until this day. So from what I can understand, it's a public agency that must have funded his design for this derailleur, and it was licensed to Simplex to manufacture. Something else I thought I'd add on. So unfortunately the shifter, my shifter's broken. I opened it up and I found bits inside. It is indexed. Also, that's interesting, is mine goes up to 6 speed. So I was looking up on the internet, and all the ones that I found are advertised as 5 speed. So that might mean that this one was a later model. I also really tried to remove this, and it's just not come off. I'm going to have to just leave it, I guess. It does seem to be normal threaded, not reverse or anything. I can just about see the threading, so I can tell that that is the case. I did polish a bit the cage though to make it look nicer. I'm going to be adding on some grease onto the main parts. I think that this Motorex grease should do. I might put some, spray some into here. So I believe that this spring went here. We need to latch that over towards that side. So next, I believe that this needs to be aligned up. So you got something like that. Next, now you have this kind of plate, and I think that went in front of this part. Hope I'm doing it right, Pierre. Okay, so that's kind of going back and forth. I think that's it. I remember when we were taking this off, you had this type of snap ring coil. So I think I've got to bring that there. I missed. Wait. Goes there. And now that spring, I've lifted up one side, and because you need this part of the arm to go in between the two sides, and that way you have the action of the spring on both ends. So if I've lifted it up enough, yeah, looks good. Now on the other end, we've got to put this part back on. How was that working? And now let's put the cover back on that side. Right, well there you have it, the Simplex Selematic 5/6-speed derailleur. I think that's everything covered for this one, and well, until next time, peace out.